Hey everybody, it's Parker Griffith on GoRacers.com. Welcome back to another Sunday Sit Down. We're here with Jessica Twaddle, former MSU softball standout and now assistant coach of softball at Abilene Christian University. Jessica, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Trying to find a lot of ways to stay busy. Softball season right now, and there's no softball. But other than that, just trying to find some things to do. How are you, Parker?
I'm good. JT, tell us a little bit about what you've been up to. You were at WKU for a year, and now you've been out at – is this your first full year out at Abilene?
This is my first year at ACU. Yeah, I got the job. Officially started July 1 and got to go recruiting for ACU a little bit in July before I made the move down here. So moved down here July and have kind of hit the ground running. Got the job as the hitting coach down here. And, yeah, it's been awesome so far.
Well, as someone who is from Tennessee and also lived in Texas for a while, it's a little bit different down there. Talk about some of the things that are a little different in Texas that you've noticed so far.
Man, well, it's hot, but it's totally different kind of hot than we get in Murray, Kentucky or in Tennessee. I think 90 in Tennessee is worse than 100 in Texas, personally. But so that's a big one. I moved here in July, so it was hot. We have an all-turf field, so we're practicing at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Sometimes those days are really hot, but that's a big one. Whataburger. We talked about Whataburger is a good difference. There's a lot of places to eat. People love their food down here. Those are probably the big ones. Other than that, I think it's a lot of that Southern culture, the nice yes ma'ams and no ma'ams, and all of those kinds of things that I grew up around. But
the lack of white cheese dip down there is appalling at times. But other than that, well, JT, so you spent a year here, started your coaching career. You have a master's from here. What made you want to get into coaching?
Yeah, it was quite the process. I'm sure Coach K would attest to that. I changed my major 7 times when I was in college because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to study. And so one day I went into Coach K's office and was like, man, Coach, I don't think I can pick a major because I think I want to get into coaching. So I spent the next couple of years kind of just talking to her. That's probably around my sophomore, junior year, talking to her about what it looks like to be in college coaching and kind of the demands. But I think a big point of decision for me was I think a lot of people want to go into fields and careers or do things with their lives in ways that they've been impacted. And when I think about what really formative times of my life and the people that really poured into me, I really think about my coaches from college, Coach K and Coach Gill. I think the world of those guys and just the opportunity that they had to help me grow as a softball player, but grow even more as a person and grow even more off the field, and a lot of that through softball lessons or through just conversations and being challenged and encouraged and all of those things by them. And so the relationship I think that coaches get to have with student athletes is pretty unique, especially at the college level where people are out on their own for their first time. And I saw that in my own life. And so I was really eager and really excited, really passionate about the opportunities that coaches have. And so wasn't sure what it was going to look like, especially after I was at Murray State for a year. Coach K offered me the chance to stay on there, which I was super thankful for, and was just an ideal starting position where I already kind of knew what was going on a little bit. I only had to learn coaching. I didn't have to learn a new system or new plays or new routines or anything. I just had to learn how to coach a little bit. And so that's kind of an ideal place to start. But yeah, that's the quick version, at least. Ended up here.
When you went into her office and said you wanted to start coaching, has she given you any bit of advice that has been useful? What's the most useful kind of piece of advice she gave you?
Oh man, a lot, and a lot of it even on and off, like in that space and those conversations, but in other ones too. I think the best advice she's given me is just if you love your student athletes, if you love those relationships that you're making with them, the rest of it, some of the grunt work that you get to put in and all of those things, it's worth it because of the kids and it's worth it because of the relationships that you get to have. And so, yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest one is just no matter what, serve your team. And I saw her do that and live that through our career. And so that's just something I keep in the back of my mind even still. Sometimes if I don't know what I'm going to do in a situation, I'm like, man, what will Coach K do right now? And I usually think that's a pretty good place to start. So
with a lot of you guys that go into the coaching field, you get into it right after college, and sometimes you're coaching players that are maybe a year, 2 years younger than you. Some cases, if it falls right, older than you. What is the first moment you had since you've been coaching where you're like, oh wait, I'm the adult now?
Yeah, I think early in my career that was a tough, especially when I was still at Murray State. I was coaching kids like Madison Culver. That was one of my best friends, and so that was kind of hard. Like, we're not really friends right now, but we're still friends. And so just learning that, Coach K helped me a lot with that early on too, as far as those boundaries. But I think especially in my first 2 years, in spaces this year, I struggled to be the demand more out of a kid kind of coach. I'm a lot. My default is the encourager and all of those kinds of things. So there's been a time, been multiple times this year where I had to snap out of that a little bit and hold a kid accountable. And that's a growing moment just in different spaces to say, no, pick it up, do it again. And that they're looking for, they need that from me too. They don't just need me to say good job all the time, but it's actually more loving to say, hey, you can do better than that, or hey, we're not going to get away with that, or whatever. So that's growing. So hope that answers that question kind of.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, JT, we're not going to take up much more of your time, but we do want to tell you thank you. I'm sure and proud of you, and proud of all you guys that go on and do stuff. And your class of softball was always really special, and I'm so glad you have found a passion. I think everybody that works in college athletics has found that passion and enjoys what we do. That doesn't mean it's not hard at times, but I wouldn't do anything else.
Yes.
So, hey, thanks. You stay safe down there. Take care, Parker. And we will talk to you soon. Maybe check back in when all this has kind of gone away, and check in again with you. Thanks so much,
great.
JT.
Thanks, Parker. Go Racers.